Haters, ¿cómo están? Bienvenidos nuevamente aquí a otra edición de Conversaciones desde el Inframundo. Espero que se encuentren de maravilla. Y en esta ocasión tenemos el placer de tener de visita a Brandon Byars, quien es el vocalista de la banda Your Spirit Dies, la banda oriunda de Columbia en South Carolina. Es una mezcla bastante exitosa entre death metal, metalcore, hardcore, punk, un buen de elementos que tienen dentro de su música. Ellos van a lanzar su primer álbum titulado My Gnawing Pains Will Never Rest el día 2 de mayo a través de MNRK Heavy. Es un excelente álbum que me voló la cabeza. Vamos a sacar reseña de el material. Entonces, Brandon, thanks a lot for your time and welcome to El Hater. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
Great, man. Thanks for taking the time to talk to me and to discuss a little about this amazing piece of work that you guys will be putting out in May. Guys, I totally exhausted all my listenings that I was provided to with through the PR company, and I had to request more links to keep listening to the record because honestly, is one of the best I have heard in a very long time. And to say that it's your first LP, it's just it doesn't cease to amaze me that this is your first record, and within it you are pretty much revolutionizing the things that bands among these subgenres like metalcore, punk, hardcore, and all bands that use this kind of sound, you're just putting a new level of complexity and of quality into this uh, sonically very defined universe. So, congratulations for that. That's what I want to
Dude,
say first.
thank you so much, man. That means so much to hear. So really, man, that's awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Don't worry,
Thank
man.
you.
I really mean it.
Sweet, man. That's awesome. I love to hear that.
Great, man. Love your Del Monte hat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Had to
Uh,
throw it on for them.
yeah, man. So, if you don't mind, I will start with the first question I got for you.
Of course, yeah.
Well, and the first question I have is this one. Well, the title of the album comes from the book of Job. Am I correct?
Job, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, for a band that grew up in small southern towns, how does religion impact your music?
Well, um, most of us grew up extremely religious, I'd
Mhm.
say. Like we grew up in very religious households. We live in the Bible Belt of America,
Mm.
the Carolinas, and yeah, we all grew up super religious. Like the when I first started getting into music, when I first started getting into heavier music and stuff, the only CDs I was really allowed to buy was like Christian records, like bands like Under Oath, The Chariot, Norma Jean, Zayo, and like, because we just had like a Christian bookstore in our town, and the guy was like a cool guy, so he like um stocked a lot of the Solid State Records bands, like Face Down Records bands. This was like in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, it definitely plays a big role. The band itself isn't really a Christian band, but just having that background kind of is who we are. You know what I mean? Like just growing up the way that we grew up.
Yeah, man. And this album it definitely has a very unique approach to themes like religion and stuff around that topic because as I was reading the lyrics, well, it's kind of I would say aggressive but not violent.
Yeah,
It's very raw in some ways and also very sophisticated in another way. So the balance between this dark and lighter sound of the music, it's a balance that I really got hooked up.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. Yeah, that's like definitely, it's not a violent thing. You know, when I was younger, I'm 31 now. When I was younger, there was definitely a little more disdain for a lot of like the religious stuff. So if I would have been like, 14 or 15 years old, yeah, it probably would have been more violent. You know what I mean? But like the older I've gotten, man, the more I've kind of like just accepted that these people are out there, they exist. As long as they're not imposing and trying to like take away the rights of other people, um, at the vice of a god, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I'm
of
cool.
course.
Like you can believe whatever you want to believe. That's fine. Just don't fuck with other people. You know what I mean? Leave other people alone. I'm totally cool with you being whatever you want to be, but you can't. You just can't do that for people.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's something that also happens here in Mexico. We are also a very religious country. Most of them
Yeah,
are Catholic, so I totally understand what you're saying. That what happened on the Bible Belt in the U.S., it happens all around here in Mexico.
for
So I
sure.
totally get what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah. I know Catholicism can be kind of brutal too in a lot of ways, for
Oh yeah,
sure.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Thanks for your answer, man. The next question I got for you is this one. Somehow you found a way to perfectly balance melodies, complexity, technicality, and speed in a way that riffs, arrangements, and leads sound hallucinating, violent, and inspiring at the same time. What was the hardest part for the band to encounter? Well, the band encounter while composing in order to create such a mind-blowing song such as Serpentine, A Rose for Every Stone, Monochrome, just to name a few of them. What was
I'm
the
glad you named
hardest?
yeah, I'm glad you named Monochrome because that's one of my favorites on the record as
Yeah, I mean,
well.
it's my favorite, man.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites, and it's not like a single or anything. I don't
No,
know, man. A lot of like the mashup of like melody and like heavy. I feel like it kind of comes a little more natural to like my guys. I'm definitely the vocalist. So
yeah.
while they're writing the riffs, I'm just like playing video games or something. You know what I mean? Like I'm just kind of like chilling,
You just do
and
your thing and let me
yeah,
know
I'm
when
just
I
chilling.
need to
Yeah,
enter this.
yeah, I'm there for support. Like if they show me something, I'm like, yeah, that's awesome, or that's not awesome. You know what I mean? Like that's kind
Yeah,
of my job. But like I don't know, man. Growing up where we grew up, like the melodic death metal, like and metalcore stuff was pretty because we had bands like Prayer for Cleansing, Undying, in like the early 2000s, late 90s, and
yeah,
and they like fused a lot of metalcore with like melodic death metal or even like black metal elements too. So like we kind of just like I don't know. I feel like it's more natural for those dudes for some reason. It is about knowing when to be melodic because I don't think that every single song should have a melodic part. Like unless that's your thing. If that's your thing, totally. But like I don't know. We try not to overdo it. We try to make it tasteful, and that's like the hardest part. I feel like is trying to like find the balance of melody to like psycho shit. You know what I mean? Like it's just
yeah.
kind of that's like a hard bridge to gap. But like I think they do a really good job with it.
Yeah, man, definitely. Most of the bands, uh, you overuse these kind of elements. You can see them, and now we are in a state in the scene where breakdowns are kind of being, exhausting the people's patience because it's something that it's so predictable, it's so very overused, and it shows a lack of imagination in
Yeah,
a lot of bands, a lack of real creativity to evolve your composing process. But guys, you really don't have that issue. Let me
thank
tell
you,
you,
man.
you are very unique.
Thank you. It definitely helps because we recorded with Greg Thomas. He plays in the band End and used to play in Misery Signals.
Mm,
When Misery Signals is a legendary band, that kind of leans more on the melodic side. And the fact that he plays in End, which is just a ferocious band from front to back, you know what I mean? That band is just scary. So like he comes from both of those worlds, so he also has like a good reign on like how to like blend stuff, and so yeah, he's definitely a major help with a lot of that, which was awesome. It was really great working with him.
Yeah, definitely having a helping hand, someone seasoned who tells you, well, you guys are doing great, or you're kind of screwing this up. It's definitely an asset.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Great, man. Thanks. The next question I got for you is this one. Well, your singing is a lot more than just that. You really mean every word that comes out of your mouth. What
Yeah.
was your state of mind while recording these songs? Because I can say you gave everything you had in every single line.
Thank you, man. Yeah. A lot of it was personal. Some of the lyrics, it was kind of a half and half situation with me and my guitar player, Tyler.
Mhm.
He's a really good writer as well. So we'd kind of sit around, like one of us would come up with like a rough version of something, and then we'd show it to the other, and then we'd kind of collaborate and do that. But growing up and like dealing with a lot of, me and him deal with a lot of similarities, I think, in our in our lives, where that stuff can take its meaning to whoever, you know.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, so recording it, like when I'm writing the words, for sure I feel it. You know what I mean? Like, because I have to kind of put myself in that place to be able to write these lyrics. Because, like, let's be real, in metalcore, nobody wants to hear like positive songs. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much
yeah,
negative shit going on in our world that like positive isn't real anymore. You know, to an extent, it just doesn't feel real.
yeah, of
Um,
course.
you know, there's so much shit happening, but like um, I don't know. You definitely like. I'm a firm believer in writing real shit, like what you're feeling in that moment. Like, I don't like forcing things by no means. So, because if it's forced, it's fake, and I don't want to be fake. So,
Yeah, man. Maybe that's something that just got me from the singing aspect and the lyrical aspect of this record because I know the lyrics are great, are very honest, very crude, and I love that. But
thanks, man.
it's also about the interpretation, you know, because you can have
Yeah,
fantastic lyrics, something that it's mind blowing, but if you don't have the right attitude, the right heart at the moment, it will just not suffice. You need to
yeah,
be in the right state of mind, in the right place at the right time
yeah,
to deliver a performance such as you did in this record. That I mean, I'm a singer myself, so when I hear someone that instantly start to look up to, that says me that this band, this singer, these musicians are just in into revolutionize the things that the how the things are being done at the moment.
yeah. Greg is also really good at absolutely punishing you when you're recording vocals. So he's really good at getting like natural anger out of you because it's like he's there for that reason. And I didn't really understand that until we were almost done. It was like, okay, like he's actually pushing me to make me better. You know what I mean? And that's, you know, that's all I can ask for sure.
Yeah, man, definitely he did a great job because I was honestly shocked by every every verse, every phrasing, every chorus. It was an amazing experience, and it is an amazing experience to listen to the whole record. You know, this is one of
Yeah.
those records that it doesn't make you wanna skip to the next song, and that's very rare nowadays.
Yeah, and that's awesome to hear because I'm a record guy. Like I love a full record, you know.
Yeah,
I like this whole single culture. I'm just not about it. I want to hear like a full body of work.
exactly. Yeah. You don't just read a book for a chapter. You know,
No,
you need to read the full thing.
yeah,
The same
yeah,
with records.
yeah. Give me at least 6 songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. Totally agree with that. Well, the next question I got for you is this one. The control of the tempo throughout the record is outstanding. You really know how to use elements like breakdowns to create moments of tension and euphoria. in a way that you sound nothing like any other bands. How did you manage to know how much to use this kind of element without falling in the same patterns most of the bands who use them do?
And that's a really good question, to be honest with you, man. I don't know. We, my guitar players, they're very good. They're better at like, I don't want to say they're better. They're really good at writing fast paced stuff.
Mhm.
Now as far as like adding breakdowns, I don't know. I don't like that whole like when in doubt, add a breakdown thing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because that's just easy. I think breakdowns are supposed to serve a purpose. It's supposed to serve a purpose in any genre of music because every genre of music has a breakdown. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like rap has a breakdown. Like a lot, like any genre of music has that. So like that's supposed to be like the part that builds up some sort of suspension. Now,
not the
obviously, there's
basis.
yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I think like yeah, I think once again, man, it's just about really focusing and trying to figure out if that's the right moment for that thing. You know what I mean? Like we even learned while in the like studio with Greg, like teasing a breakdown is cool. Like just kind of like putting it earlier in the song, but they don't get it. You know what I mean? But
Hmm.
then at the end, you bring it back and they get it, and it's like it makes it stronger because these people are waiting for that moment. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know. That's probably the best answer I can give for that, but definitely just like trying to weigh out like if this is the moment for that, you know?
Yeah, because when you hear them, there's a moment when you can hear it coming. And for most of the records that I have been hearing, most of them the metalcore, you predict that moment, but when it comes, it doesn't explode. You know, it doesn't get you excited because it was coming, and the outcome of that moment is not as it's not up to the task. But in this record, even not every time I knew it was coming. That's something also very good. But when I do it, know it's coming. When it arrives, it just shocks me. It makes me just let my hair loose and step back
Yeah,
in my head, man.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
the purpose of the breakdowns, to inject some a much needed uh, doses of adrenaline or something that makes you wanna jump and break stuff. And you
Yeah.
did that in this record, and that's something that most of the bands are forgetting to do, in order just to put it in there just because we are this kind of band and we need to have these kind of elements on our music, and
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
not you.
Thank you, man. Yeah, that like once again that means a lot for real.
Don't worry, man. I'm just being totally honest with you, man, about my assessment
Yeah,
regarding your record.
yeah.
And I will release my review in a couple of weeks when
Awesome.
the releasing day it's more close.
Awesome.
And the last question I got for you, man, is this one. That if today the band were to create an album
Yeah.
that is 100% guaranteed to be listened by every person in this planet, what would you want the album to be about?
I think the same things that we're talking about. Like there's a lot of political topics right now that I
Yeah.
feel like need to be talked about. Without a doubt in the US for sure. There's a lot of political stuff. There's a lot of religious stuff. I think I would still go about it the same way that we did this last record. If everyone on earth got to hear this record, I'd want them to hear it. You know, I'd be very stoked. Whether or not it's something that they agree with, because honestly, like that's important. I think people should be exposed to stuff they don't necessarily agree with, you know? Um, but yeah, it's just yeah, I think that what the record is about now, it's a lot of different stuff. It's about how we're killing the world,
Yeah.
how humanity is ultimately killing the world. It's about religious issues, which are very prominent in our world today, I feel like. It's about loss, which I think every single person on earth has lost somebody, so they can relate. So yeah, I think that's what I think I'm happy with what the record is, you know?
Okay. Yeah, it's very um, not like general or generic stuff that you're talking about, but it's very broad, very wide.
Yeah.
It reaches out to so many places and to topics and stuff that needs to be talked about and needs to be discussed. And yeah, what you were saying is totally spot on. To
Thanks,
be
man.
exposed to things that you are not comfortable with or you don't agree with, it's a very healthy exercise. And I think if more people were willing to be exposed and to listen to things that they don't agree with, we definitely will live in a very better world.
I believe so too. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah,
For
man.
sure.
Thanks for that answer, man. And well, Brandon, those were the questions I wrote down for you. So many thanks to helping me to answer them. It has been a very nice time to talking to you about the record and the things behind the creative process and the ideas behind this record. And as we were speaking before we start recording, please, if you don't mind, help me out with a question that I can use to break the ice with my next guest for this section.
Cool. Shit. Do you know who your next guest is?
Not yet. That's also the beauty of it. So it can be whatever you want. Sometimes
ask them if they're going down the highway. It's 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Every restaurant in the world is on this next exit. Fast food.
Okay.
If every single one of these is on this exit and they're all open, which one are they going to? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if it's a musician and they're on tour, which one are they stopping at? You know?
Good question, man. Good question. Will be very fun to hear the answers. I'm pretty sure if someone is maybe someone will say no, I just rather not eating at all.
Oh, come on. It's everything. There's a McDonald's there, Chipotle there. There's everything at this exit. They got to pick one. They got to pick one.
Yeah. Thank you. I will use that with my next guest. Thanks a lot, man. Haters, eso es lo que tenemos en esta entrevista con Brandon Byars, el vocalista de una gran banda. De verdad, es una gran banda. Esta de Your Spirit Dies y el álbum de My Knowing Pains Will Never Rest. De verdad, escúchenlo, haters. Es un tremendo trabajo. Les va a volar la cabeza. 100% certificado haters. So, Brando, if you like to say something to the haters, please be my guest.
Yeah, no, thanks so much for listening. Let us know what you think of the new record when it comes out, and we very much appreciate all of this. Thanks for being here. Thanks for allowing us to be here. Thanks for talking to me. Yeah, it all means so much.
Oh, man. Thanks a lot for that. Haters, nos estamos viendo en la siguiente. Por favor, cuídense mucho. Hasta luego.